Good morning, my Abbey are back. Here's the plan. It's Saturday, last day of the work week, and we got some really sexy stuff for you today. Things like catch basins, drainage, topping of floors, putting on more skim coat, and paint drying. Okay, sexy may have been the wrong word to use, but at least I'm lowering your expectations ahead of the big surprises that may or may not come later. What could possibly go wrong? How could I forget in my list of sexy items, blokes digging a hole? So we once again have Erwin and Oliver back in the hole for the septic tank. And at the same time, we've got O'Donnell and Richard taking a little bit of the material away to be used elsewhere. What we also have down here, they actually prepared this yesterday, is the rebar frame for the base of that septic tank. We'll probably see that go in a little bit later on. This is going to get noisy. But here at the front, Mr. Ronell, our plumber, aided by Coilito, are working on putting in the drain at the bottom of the balcony for the master bedroom. And I think once that's in, there will be more work done probably on this ceiling. On the north wall, we've got original Rico and Singing Marvin and Elson just putting forms around the penultimate catch basin that runs down this side until we hit the carport and storage rooms. And they're also doing the same thing, Elson is, over here. So getting ready to make these catch basins as much of a work of art as they've already done with the ones further back there. In the double height ceiling, we once again have brushing a ceiling, just cleaning off the excess. There was a little bit of sanding going on, or there is a bit of sanding going on here, smoothing out where the mud and tape has been applied. Back in Jack's room, paint drying, just for Steve L once again. This is back in Sabrina's room, and a few minutes ago we were still getting mud applied here. Right now though, the builder is measuring balconies and bathrooms because he's about to head off to where we looked at tiles a couple of days ago and trying to calculate how many do we need. In George's room at the front of the house in the middle, once again we've got the mud and tape application going on here. Well, right now, the mud. And then they will follow that up. Oh, that's handy, with the tape. Let's get a little closer in. So it just adheres to the skim coat. And it'll come back along and skim coat again over the top of it. I think it's just one application on all of these corners, on all of these joins. As Charles Hill put in a comment not too long ago, "Be still my beating heart." So many exciting, sexy things that I've shown you already today. I thought we'd just take a moment, relax, and we'll move on later in the day. We're a little bit short at the moment of the morning break, so it's around about 9:30. The rebar base for the septic tank is in, and it's now getting concreted in. So already a lot of progress over here. Underneath the master bedroom balcony, just in a couple of hours, they've got a lot of piping in here already. This is not going to be too long before they have all of that connected up, and I assume there'll be a downspout. Will it be over there or will it be over this side? I'm not sure yet. We'll have to wait and see. It's a good job we've got an on-site engineer because he's answered my question straight away. The downspout will be over here. And that'll come down this side of the wall and then it'll connect across to the catch basin over there. It's a little after lunch and it's blisteringly hot. I think these guys might be actually quite grateful they're down in the hole. They're on the shaded side of the house, or shaded part of the house, and it is a little cooler down here. But it's a hot, hot day. So the concrete hole blocks for this septic tank are rising rapidly. I'm not sure whether they'll have all of them in place by the end of today, but I would think they might get close. Whether they'll have the 2 sections carved out, I'm not sure. We'll see later on. Back at the balcony for the master bedroom. For now at least, the drainage is done. Obviously it's not finished, but they've got all the connections except now the downspout, and then, as I said before, coming down here and across is what I believe will be the case. Singing Marvin and Rico and making the next beautiful catch basin here on the north, what are we? East corner. So this one still almost done now. One more over there, and dizzy pill poppers. One here to finish, and take another dizzy pill. One down there. In Sabrina's room, Mr. Rene is doing something new. My understanding, and I'm trying not to step on anything that he's done, is this is topping. So it's preparing the floor for the tiles. Well, they're actually not tiles. But again, you have to wait and see what they actually are. But just string lines are in, and now creating these raised beams which will act as guides for the thickness of the topping. We'll see more of that, I think, on Monday. There's something new. Is that sexy? No, not really. This is in George's room, and Singing Rico's been doing a fair bit of tidy up in here in preparation, once again, for topping. Again, I think that'll be Monday, not today. This is Alex's room, but I'm just highlighting something here. I did just ask Rico, the skim coat on the walls is at various different stages in various rooms. So I was wondering whether it made sense to have a uniform number of coats of skim coat before putting the floor in. Well, the topping at least. And he said, no, they don't need to. I'm going to go and ask the engineer as well, because I would have thought it would make sense to have the skim coat possibly complete before that floor goes in. We'll try and find out. So I just asked Mr. Engineer and Mr. Lead Foreman, who Mr. Lead Foreman insists on still eating sour mango. He did offer me more. It is horrible. But the order will be to do the topping, then finish all of the skim coat, and then put the flooring in place. That will be what they'll follow in all of the rooms, which actually to me now does make sense. I have got a comment from Larry Langdon, who, when it comes to swimming pools, he knows his onions. It's his business. And his advice is these jets should be a minimum of 10 centimetres below the level of the water. Now, in our case, it's too late for that. We can't get 10 centimetres above, or if we did, it would mean that our pool would be almost completely full, and we don't want it quite that full. So the other advice he's given is to angle the eyes, the jets, down into the water, because at the moment it's pushing water up to the surface, and that's just encouraging water loss through evaporation. Whereas if we point the eyes down, and his recommendation is roughly 45 degrees, that will have less of a disruptive element on the surface, but it will encourage water to flow around the pool, which is of course what we want from the point of view of cleaning. Larry is also suggesting a robotic pool cleaner. I just had a look and they're pricey, so we're going to keep thinking about that. It may be that we hold off on that with so many other expenses at the moment. We might wait a little longer because we have done a deal with Glenn, the pool guy, and so he at the moment will be coming back on a very regular basis to clean for us, and we'll stick with that for a little bit, and then at the end of this whole build we'll see if there's still any money we can dredge up for a robotic pool cleaner. And the brand he has particularly suggested is the Dolphin brand, and I've seen elsewhere that range does get good reviews. Saturday, settling up day for any advances on food and drinks during the week for lunches, breakfasts, break times. So, time to pay the piper. Septic tank number 2. The concrete hollow blocks are up to height and just about making a start on the separation into 2 chambers. That'll be something to work on next week. This was the drainage that we looked at a little earlier on, and that will come down here. I've said it before, but we haven't actually shown you. It'll connect into here, which now has that nice clean finish on the top. Let me know in the comments, are you sick and tired of catch basins yet? Because these look like they're done, but on Monday we still could look forward to that one over there getting finished off, or maybe we'll just say enough's enough. Back in Sabrina's room, preparations for topping continued. One thing I've just noticed is that the height of these guides is slightly higher over there than it is on this end. Now my guess is they've used a laser level to measure all of this and found that this floor is not 100% flat. This end is very, very slightly more elevated. There's not much in it, but I guess this will now be adjusted for with the floor preparation itself. In Jack's room, one bit of bad news. We just got a message to say that the tiles that we selected, actually not for the bedroom, but for the bathroom through there, for Jack's room and for Alex's room, despite the fact that when we were there, the message we got was, yes, we have stock. The answer is now, no, we don't. So, another trip back to Tiles Shops tomorrow, I suspect, because they want to get on with it. The double height ceiling has its first coat of paint. Looks lovely. In Alex's room, this is the room that has advanced the most in terms of paint on the ceiling. All that remains, I mean, this may only be one coat, I'm not sure, but the only uncoated areas around these highlights where they've not yet done some of the vertical parts. But this has more progress on it than any of the other bedrooms. That is the end of the work week. A week in which I'm afraid there was rather a lot of talk of catch basins and a little bit of base paint and skim coat and stuff that wasn't wholly massively exciting. I think next week we may start to see things that look a little bit more like real finishing. Hopefully we start to see some of the flooring going in, at least upstairs. But fingers crossed, there might be lots more stuff that is massively sexy to watch. Unlike this week. However, we'll finish here. We'll actually finish, take a dizzy pill, with grandkids and kids in the pool. It's a beautiful evening. I will be joining them very soon. See you next week.